Finally got a YouTube notification.
Yo, 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 what is up, Carmination? Welcome here to another edition of NASCAR Live. It's been a hot minute. We had some Saturday races in there. And then, I don't know, so for some reason, my camera right now, it looks like it's on the fritz. I can't figure out why, so just have to deal with it. Just focus on Dave's face this entire time. Like you don't already
Better
anyway.
looking anyways.
Yeah, just focus on Dave. I can't figure out why my camera is on the fritz. I just spent like
Yeah.
a good 15 minutes
I
working on
say
it.
I have a laptop, webcam, whatever thing, and you got this super duper expensive one, and mine always works, and yours is glitching.
Maybe it's because it's trying to match the quality of your camera, and it's like, cannot compute.
Man,
But
you
yeah,
couldn't
so
handle this sexy face if I had a quality camera.
I actually don't even know
Anyways,
what you would look like if you had the same camera I had. I have no idea what you look like.
you don't
I
want to
don't even
see it.
know. But yeah, so while my camera's on the fritz, we have moved NASCAR Live on Sunday races, even if they're the 7:30 p.m. nighttime one that's tonight. We've moved it to 10 a.m. because we have that 11 a.m. fantasy football Q&A. So in literally 54 minutes, if you stay on the same exact channel you're on right now on our YouTube channel, we'll have it's a rotating cast, but it's typically Ben, Bales, mixture of Sam, AC, maybe Matt, all of our NFL experts in there, and they're just going through. It's literally just nonstop questions, whether it's season long questions you have, DFS questions, prop questions, any of that stuff. They're just going to be going through all of them and asking them, and I still am very frustrated by my camera going on the fritz. But that being
Yeah,
said, we're
Sam's
gonna hop.
good for a good few good takes. AC's good for a few bad takes, and then going ahead and taking down like a 6-figure win after all that. So.
If you're betting or playing any Browns and you're on the fence, like which should I play the Browns, should I not play the Browns, just ask AC because he'll always put you on the Brown side, even if it's like the worst possible matchup, which I don't think today is. I think today's a good one. Anyway, moving on to NASCAR, we do have a later race, which is why Dave doesn't have his final thoughts on site yet for all you NASCAR/MVP subscribers. It will be coming up a little bit later. But if you have not tuned in, this is how it works. We're going to go through each of Dave's favorite cash and GPP plays for the high tier salary range, mid tier, and low tier. Go through a prize pick play, a monkey eye fight play, and then also his favorite driver to bet on. This camera going on the fritz is driving me nuts. But with that being said, let's start off with strategy wise. What kind of race are we seeing here tonight?
It's a 1.5-mile steep track. It's gonna be typical like a Homestead or something like that. We've seen already this year. They've already been to Vegas once this year. It was pre-COVID. My cat is going crazy behind me. It's driving me nuts. So you're gonna see like a 2 to 3 dominator race typically. Gotta get hit a couple of those dominators, definitely, especially in GPPs. I've kind of taken a different strategy over the past couple weeks, and I've done it again this week, and it's really paid off for me. It really would have paid off for me yesterday had we not had that late caution in the Xfinity race. I was taking down a couple GPPs, but with the limited contests, and especially today, more people, more fish, I guess you could say it, playing NFL instead of NASCAR. You're gonna get a lot of the people who grind it, like me and some other people. So I've kind of taken more of a GPP approach to my lineup building taking some more chances with finish position over place differential. So that's kind of a strategy that I'm employing today, a little bit more than I would just plugging in guys starting in the mid 20s and then one or two dominators for cash games. I don't play a lot of cash games, one because there's not a lot of good options for DraftKings on cash games other than those like 23-man ones, which I think are a joke because especially NASCAR with the people playing it, you're gonna see trains and you're just gonna get run over, or you're gonna split with a bunch of people. So, but yeah, so that's my strategy for the race today. That's the strategy going into the race, and yeah, there you go.
All right, completely unrelated. I was just when I was looking because I'm watching the stream up on my phone, make sure everything's working correctly, and this fritzing camera thing, it's reminding me of like horror movies. Like when like you're watching like a camera feed in a horror movie, and then it starts like to go, zzz, zzz, and then you see like a demon pop up. That's what's about to happen right now on the
Look
stream.
behind you.
We're about to get a demon. But so going to the top tier salary range. Who's your favorite cash play for this one?
Yeah, it's gonna be Kevin Harvick, and I think everyone's gonna be Kevin Harvick today. The guy's just been on a roll. He's just been dominant in general. And here he leads a lot of laps at Vegas. Doesn't have the finishes like you'd like to see. That's why if you look at like recent history compared to others, his average finish is a little bit lower than others. But the guy just dominates this track. Leads a lot of laps. He's starting from the pole. Probably going to get out front, lead early, competition caution. He's got the first pit stall, so I think he'll keep. If he pits, he'll keep the lead. I mean, if you look at his recent history, just in the season, he's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 races. He's gonna be popular today. Maybe go ahead and pivot off him, depending on if you're building like 20 max. Pivot off him. Building three teams, maybe pivot off him on one and expect that one to lose, but that's kind of like your hedge lineup. I just love Kevin Harvick today, and I think he's gonna do really good.
All right, what about the GPP side for that top tier range?
Yeah, GPP side, it's weird because I normally just throw off my final thoughts, and then now I have to look at like the range on my phone. So I'm gonna go with Joey Logano. I like Brad Keselowski too, especially with that place differential upside, and he's got good finishing upside. But Joey's got the dominator upside. I wrote this up in my article last night, which you can find on dfskarma.com. It's free. If you look, he's led 40 or more laps in 7 of the last 9 races here and has a career average finish of 8th. So even if Brad finishes better than Joey, there's a good chance Joey Logano's could have some laps led during this race. And I think those dominator points are going to come into play, finding that second dominator to pair up with Kevin Harvick in GPPs. I don't think he's worth it in cash games just because I think there's some place differential guys who have the same amount of dominator upside as him. To pair with Harvick and cash, but definitely like Joey for tournaments.
All right, mid-tier salary range. Who's your favorite cash play?
Yeah, favorite cash play, and it pains me to say it. Always pains me to say it when I put this guy in cash, but he's probably he should be popular. Let's put it that way. If he's not, cool, that'd be great. Ricky Stenhouse. He starts 33rd. He's a great floor option today. Had issue last week with Jimmy Johnson at Bristol, which made him finish last, which, with the new system and how they create the starting lineup, we knew we were going to see Ricky Stenhouse starting near the back. If you look at his track history here, he's got like top 20 upside, and I think he's going to should stay clean. I don't see, if you watch the truck race, if you watch the Xfinity race, you didn't see a lot of accidents. You saw a lot of green flag racing. There's a couple of dumb cautions, and that's about it. And the one dumb caution yesterday that cost me a bunch of money. I'm not tilting over that whatsoever. But I think Ricky's got decent. He's a decent play in cash. He's a decent play in GPPs too. So yeah, just lock Ricky Stenhouse in your cash lineups.
Moving on to the GPP, who you playing for that mid-tier range?
Yeah, this is more of a DraftKings play just because of how stupid their pricing is on him. Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman's only 7,300 on DraftKings. There's really no reason why he's
When's the last
7,300 on
race that
DraftKings.
he's been in the mid tier? I don't think it's been quite a while since he was a
Yeah,
mid
I'm
tier
looking. Let me
option.
look at his game look. Well, he was 7,700, 7,900, 7,900. Then he was in the mid
Oh.
eights, which is where he should be. He should be in the mid eights, but he's 7,300. He's starting eighth. So his place differential upside is limited, but at this price, he finishes in the top 10. He's a car that can get some fastest laps. You don't need the lap sled to get dominator points on DraftKings. If he gets 20, 30 fastest laps during the race and finishes top 10, he's going to be a great play for a GPP, because at 7,300, you can get in two other dominators who might be leading the race, so like a Kevin Harvick and a Truex or a Logano or a Keselowski, and Bowman, compared to some of the guys around him, is gonna crush if he's able to do that.
To the cheapos. Cheapo cash play.
Cheapo cash play. See, this is where I'm having trouble. So I'm gonna knock off a couple of these guys who I'm kind of going through. Christopher Bell starts 26. He's a great place differential option. Probably going to be the popular option. He's done decent here in Xfinity. He crashed. He started off the season pretty bad in Cup, so I'm just ignoring his result here back in the beginning of the year. But for me, I think I might lean more towards like a Tyler Reddick, just because I'm taking that GPP approach, I think, to cash games. And Tyler Reddick starts 14th, so the floor is not there like it is for Christopher Bell. I think Christopher Bell would be more popular than Tyler Reddick. I think Cole Custer will be more popular than Tyler Reddick. But it's a steep track. I love targeting Tyler Reddick on steep tracks, and yeah. So I give you the place differential option and then more of a GPP cash type option there.
So then, would those also be your GPP plays, or are you looking for somebody else?
No. I'm going to give you like a out of the box option that can make you build like a great lineup. And if he does the top 30 or top 28, he'll, and your dominators hit, you're going to be taking stuff down today. Looking at Brennan Poole. He's the cheapest guy in DraftKings, 4,600. Starts 35th. He's not. This isn't like Daytona, I think, where he finished like 15th. Poole has the capability of finishing top 30. If he's able to get like a 28th spot position, that's 7 place differential points plus the points from finishing 28th or 29th. And you hit those dominators like a Kevin Harvick, a Truex. I think you get Blaney. There's a lot of ways you can build with Brennan Poole in a GPP. This is a total. I mean, this is like if you're building 150 teams, if you're building a 20 max, maybe throw them in 1 or 2. But I mean, there's the value range is interesting to say the least today. So I'm willing to take some risks on some plays today. That's kind of my strategy when I'm going at these tournaments today. And I'll know how I'm doing, but with NFL, so I'll either be tilt entering or I'll be like, well, I got money to lose. So
it's a horrible mindset. Moving on to which one do you have pulled up first? Monkey Knife Fight or Prize Picks?
I think I've got Monkey Knife Fight up here. Yep.
All right.
Monkey Knife Fight. Fan of it today.
Well, I mean, don't force a play if you don't like a play.
Yeah. Well, then let's ignore it because I don't like any of the play. I don't know. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in them in general because they changed their whole scoring system and you basically have to guess how they're gonna finish. As opposed to the strategy it was last year with like place differential and all that stuff. It was more of a game of skill instead of a game of luck, which I feel like this has become a game of luck here on Monkey Knife Fight. But I mean, I guess let's go to the 3 of 4. I'm not gonna max this one out, so don't go crazy. 3 of 4. It's just a more or less, not the rapid fire.
All right, which side are you going?
Yeah, Harvick more, Truex more, Hamlin less. And this is the one where I'm up and I'm kind of debating on it. I'm gonna go ahead and just say less. and hope that Logano doesn't lead. So that's how I'm going to play that.
All right, and that's a do not max play
Correct.
that.
Yep.
If you want to play something, that's something to play. Moving on to prize picks.
Save it for next week. Next week is Talladega. So.
Okay. All right, so for prize picks, what are you looking at?
Yeah, prize picks. Pulling that up right now. Get off the NFL screen.
Jeez. I mean, you can mix it NFL with prize picks, which is the best part.
That's what Ethan and Joey are for. So. Okay, so there's a few plays I like here. So we'll start off with, and I'm going to give you 4. So Kevin Harvick over 37. And then you're going to scroll down some, and you're going to see Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, and Eric Jones all at 30.5. I'm going under on all 3 of those.
So Harvick was over, everybody else is under.
Correct.
You do that 4, you do a flex, put some buckaroos on it, throw that screenshot up on Twitter, tag the home account, whether you win with Monkey Knife Fight play, with a prize picks play, or any of the GPP/cash recommendations. Let's wrap up this stream here with your favorite bet. Someone who is outside of the top 5.
Yeah, I don't have that one pulled up.
Well, we're just going to have to end the stream then.
Okay, see ya.
We don't have time for you to pull it up.
Okay, Kevin Harvick. He's probably gonna be the favorite, which is probably be like minus. What the hell? Why does it make me sign in?
Apparently, this is Dave's first live stream.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you skip me for 2 weeks. I kind of get a little rusty.
Skip you. There was Saturday races.
Whatever. I'm going to Bovada. I normally do DraftKings Sportsbook, but Bovada's gonna be quicker. Let's see. So I mean, let's put it this way. I think Kevin Harvick ends up winning this race. So you got to kind of decide if, what the hell? Why is it making me sign in?
All right.
So stupid. Anyways, so here, I don't know what the odds are. So if you can pull them up, pull them up. Like I said, Kevin Harvick's probably going to win this race. I like Ryan Blaney today. Kind of one of those guys who's just got knocked out of the playoffs last week. He had a bad showing. And it kind of cost him. He just said, "Oh, now I can get in." What the hell?
I was looking at there's not like any tab. I found a motorsports one, South Point 400. There we go. I found it. Harvick is 4.5 to 1.
Okay. All right.
On DraftKings.
I got this up on DraftKings Sportsbook. I can't find the.
It's hidden. It's based on popularity, and they've moved South Point 400 to the.
I see that now.
I got it. They put baby in the corner.
Yeah. I'm used to it once NFL shows up. So, I'm the redheaded stepchild. NASCAR is, at least. So. Yeah, just look at the DraftKings contest and tell me that that's not the truth. So,
all right.
Anyway, so Kevin Harvick's 4.5 to 1. He's probably gonna end up winning this race, and dominate it and whatnot. But like I said, I like Blaney. He's 10 to 1. And then just kind of like an out of the blue, little deeper field one I like is probably Alex Bowman. I think it comes out of nowhere. If he's gonna win. He needs to win, I think, to get to the next round. I just don't like his chances at Dega. I don't like his chances at the Roval. So he's going to probably have some strategy near the end of the race that might put him up front. He's 30 to 1. So there's my 3 picks today.
Well, there's your DraftKings plays, your Monkey Knife Fight play, your Prize Picks play, and a few little betting options there. It is now 10:23 a.m. You have more than enough time to rewatch the stream 6,000 times over before 7:30 p.m. race, nighttime race, right before the Sunday Night Football game kicks off. But whatever channel you're watching this on right now, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, any of our streams, make sure you do head over to the YouTube channels. Go to YouTube, search for DFS Karma, DFS Karma, and subscribe to that, because all of the recorded podcasts that we don't do live go to that channel. So you're going to miss out on a ton of content if you don't if you're not subscribed to it. That being said, the channel that you are watching, return to it in about 36 minutes because Ben and the gang are going to be up for an NFL Live, and they're answering all of your questions possible. Just rapid fire, hour long. Ben's going to lose his voice again. It's going to be a good time. But that wraps up.
It's a fun stream. Y'all should tune in, definitely. So.
But that being said, we'll see you guys on the next Sunday race. Until then, deuces. Good luck, guys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 3 edition of the Last Minute question and answer show that we do here, provided by DFS Karma. I'm your host, Ben Hostler. I got no Sam this week. I don't know what he's doing. Anthony is fully entrenched in married life, so I don't know what he's doing either. I think he's going somewhere. So you guys got just me today. Since I don't have someone else, I'll probably focus even more heavily on the questions so we can kind of talk about the slate a little bit while we wait for everybody to join up. And then you guys can just start spamming questions. I'll just answer as many questions as possible. Might be a little bit of a shorter one since I'm by myself, but we'll see. If we're getting a lot of questions, I will answer as many as I can. I think this is a really fun slate. I think for tournaments, it's an interesting slate. You kind of know where the chalk is going. Those two late games, Arizona, Seattle, Dallas, like that's where the chalk is going to be. But I think it's good chalk, like especially that Seattle Dallas game is just really good. I don't have any problems with it. So for tournaments, I think if I was playing 20 teams, I would probably want a piece of that Seattle-Dallas game on 17, 18 of those 20 teams probably, maybe even 19. That's how much I feel pretty strong about it. And Anthony showed last week that you do not need to fade the chalk to win, a big score. He won $100,000, and really he had Aaron Jones, which was a lower-owned separator, but I mean he had a lot of decently high-owned players in that lineup. So a lot of times in NFL, the chalk is chalk for a reason. So I think that game is really good. So I do think it's an interesting spot for tournaments. I would want to get some exposure there on most of my teams. What's up, guys? Evans Godwin take. Yeah, I think you can play either of them. If you're talking DFS, I think you can play either of them any week. This isn't a week that I want to stack Brady with them. Not like last week, when they were up against the Panthers, but I think you can play either of them as one-offs every week. I don't think either of them will be very highly owned. I think Godwin I talked about on Bales, and I do a podcast on Friday nights where we talk about some tournament pivots. I actually talked about Godwin as my wide receiver pivot on that podcast this week. He was the guy in week 1, ran a lot of slot routes, which we know Tom Brady likes his slot receivers. And, this Denver secondary is not that good, especially with Bouye down. So I think both of them are fine as a one-off, but I do like Godwin. Dalvin and Lockett or Derrick Henry and DK. If you're talking cash, it's probably the second one. For tournaments, I don't mind the first, but I like Derrick Henry more than Dalvin, and I like DK more than Lockett, so I probably would pick the second one either way. Best stack on the slate in tournaments. That's a tough one. I really like the Patriots stack. I have 4 tournament lineups on DraftKings. I have Patriots. I have Seattle, Eagles, and I think Bills. So that's my 4. I think the Patriots are probably my favorite stack personally. Favorite 4K wide receiver. I don't know if I love anyone in the 4K range. I think N'Keal Harry at 4,200 is interesting. I think a couple of the cheaper guys down there, you have KJ Hamler, Darnell Mooney, Demir Bird. I think all three of those guys are interesting. But if you're going to play someone that's 4K, I would probably try and move someone around to at least get to Harry at 42. I'll open the pricing though and take a look and see if I like anybody else. DraftKings Cash, Connor or Eckler. Okay, so I don't know what else your team is. Like, I've said this a lot in our Discord. Like, I personally think that fading any of Taylor, Miles Sanders, and Kenyon Drake in cash games is a mistake this week. I think, like, I'm playing those three. I think you probably want to play those three. But if you want to go with a little bit of a different build, I would maybe take. I don't know, that's close. I would probably give a slight edge to Eckler, but I like Connor a lot in tournaments. DraftKings Cash, Hopkins and Hamler.